This machine is perfectly stable. Your concerns are unfounded.
It just seized up. Get an engineer now.
The words fell into the room like a match dropped into dry grass. Give me 1 minute, I can fix it. The billionaire laughed before the echo had time to fade. His laugh was clean and practiced, the kind that came from winning rooms, not listening to them. Around him, polished shoes shifted, phones lifted. Eyes rolled. No one expected the quiet man near the wall to matter. The room smelled of metal and cold air, sharp like a place that never slept. Glass walls rose high, showing a city that glowed with money and speed. At the center stood a machine worth more than 1,000 homes, humming low, proud, and fragile. It powered a hospital wing across the river. It powered life. And now it was failing. The billionaire owned it. He owned the building. He owned the silence that followed his laugh. The man near the wall did not move. His jacket was old, heavy at the shoulders, faded at the cuffs. A scar ran from his temple into his hairline, pale and calm, like it had learned patience long ago. His hands were steady, thick with fine lines and old burns. He had not asked to be there. He had been called because alarms do not care about pride. Someone whispered that security should escort him out. Someone else checked a watch. Somewhere far away, a heart monitor began to stutter. He said it again, softer this time. 1 minute, they ignored him. Within the first half-minute, the man became a shape viewers could feel rather than see. He stood straight, but not stiff. His eyes did not chase attention. They studied the machine the way a doctor studies a face. There was weight behind his calm, the kind earned. It's not learned. His name was Elias Ward. Once, long ago, Elias wore a uniform that smelled of dust, oil, and heat. He had learned how machines failed under pressure because he had watched people fail first. He had learned that noise rarely saved lives. Silence did. 2 decades earlier, the desert had taught him that lessons arrive without warning. The sun had burned everything flat and honest. The air tasted like metal and sand. His unit fixed broken vehicles while others slept. They worked at night when the world was quieter and more dangerous. Elias learned to listen with his hands. A vibration too sharp. A heat too wrong. A sound that said run or stay. He remembered the night a generator failed and lights died across a field hospital. He remembered hands shaking in the dark. He remembered a young medic whispering that they were losing oxygen. Elias had crawled into heat and noise, skin blistering, lungs burning, counting seconds like prayers. He fixed it in less than a minute. They never put his name on a wall for that. He lost friends there. He lost sleep. He lost the habit of speaking when silence worked better. When he came home, the world felt loud and small at the same time. Crowds pressed too close. Words felt thin. He found work where machines spoke honestly, and people did not ask questions. Back in the glass room, the machine shuddered. A red line pulsed along its side. Engineers argued softly, afraid to sound wrong in front of power. The billionaire waved a hand, annoyed now. He said they had the best minds already. He said time was money. He said, escort the man out. Elias felt the floor through his boots. He felt the heat change. He smelled insulation beginning to stress. His mind lined up causes and effects the way it always had. He knew what was about to fail next, cross the river. A nurse leaned closer to a patient whose breathing slowed. She did not know Elias. She did not know the room of glass and pride. She only knew something was wrong. Security stepped closer. Elias did not raise his voice. He did not defend himself. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small metal tool, worn smooth. It had been with him longer than most people. He held it loosely, not like a weapon, but like a memory. The billionaire scoffed. He turned away. The lights flickered. For a moment, no one breathed. Then the room filled with alarm lights, silent but screaming. The machine stuttered, then fell into a dangerous quiet. Screens went dark. Phones lost signal. The billionaire's smile collapsed, not into fear yet, but into confusion. The kind that comes when control slips without warning. Across the river, machines switched to backup. Somewhere a doctor shouted for time. Elias stepped forward without being told. No one stopped him now. His hands moved with a calm that felt almost unfair. He knelt, pressed his palm to the casing, closed his eyes. He listened inside the machine. A valve stuck under heat. A sensor misread pressure. A safety lock froze in fear. It was not broken beyond hope. It was panicking, he whispered to himself, steady and slow. He had done this before, in worse places. With less light, 1-minute engineers watched, stunned by the way he touched the machine like it could hear him. He bypassed a false reading, reset a lock, cooled a coil with nothing but timing and breath. His scar caught the light. Sweat ran into his eyes. He did not wipe it away. The billionaire took a step back. 30 seconds in, the machine hummed. A low sound, uncertain, then stronger. Screens blinked awake. Green lines returned like a pulse finding its rhythm. Power surged across the river. In the hospital, a monitor steadied. A nurse exhaled without knowing why. Elias counted the last seconds in his head. Not because he needed to, but because counting kept ghosts quiet. At 58 seconds, the machine settled. The hum became smooth, almost gentle. The room filled with light again, softer now, like it knew it had almost failed. No one spoke. The billionaire stared at the man kneeling on his floor. The laugh that once filled the room had nowhere to go. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. Elias stood slowly. His knees ached. His hands trembled just a little now that the danger had passed. He slipped the tool back into his jacket. He looked around the room, meeting eyes without challenge. When he spoke, his voice was low and even. Machines do not care who owns them. They care who listens. It landed harder than any shout. Another line followed, quieter, meant for no one and everyone. Respect is not loud. It works. The billionaire swallowed. He nodded once, stiff, like a man learning gravity for the first time. Apologies formed and died behind his teeth. Power shifted without ceremony, without celebration. Just a man standing where laughter had been. People around the room straightened. Phones lowered. One engineer wiped his eyes, embarrassed by the sudden weight in his chest. Security stepped back, uncertain now who they were protecting. Outside, the city kept moving, unaware it had almost lost something precious. Inside the hospital, life continued. Elias walked toward the exit. He did not wait for praise. He did not look back. As he reached the door, someone called his name. He paused, just enough to show he heard. The billionaire spoke, voice stripped of shine. He said, "Thank you." Elias nodded once. Gratitude accepted, not collected. In the hallway, the air smelled of dust and cleaner. It felt honest. He breathed deep, feeling the old calm settle back into place. He thought of the desert. He thought of the medic. He thought of all the minutes that had mattered without witnesses. Behind him, a room full of powerful people stood quieter than before. The story did not end with applause. It ended with understanding. Somewhere that night, a patient slept easier. Somewhere a nurse smiled without knowing why. And somewhere in a city built on noise, a lesson moved quietly from one heart to another. Strength does not announce itself. Honor does not need permission. And sometimes, the person everyone laughs at is the only one who can save them all. If this story moved you, share where you are watching from. Tell us what silent strength means to you. And subscribe for more stories that honor the heroes who never asked to be seen.